let's start. Okay, we're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna learn a lot of stuff during this session. And I really, really appreciate your presence here again. So I hope that you can help me out to conduct this lesson in the best way possible. All right. I am going to ask you for a lot of attention here. Yes, because I'm going to ask you at the end of the lesson a couple of questions. So to see if you are really here, yes, paying attention. And I guess that you're gonna do. Okay, so can you see my screen? Can you see my presentation? Let me know.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
I'm
teacher.
Yes,
going to be
teacher,
reading the
both.
chat.
Yes, teacher.
If
Yes,
you
we
have
can.
questions
Yes,
or if you
teacher.
have something to say, to express,
Yes, teacher.
well, I'm going to be reading the chat. So if you can see my screen, so thank you very much. So we are all ready. This is a grammar lecture. This is called Truth, Doubt, or Obligation. I know it sounds very academic. It's going to be like that at the beginning, but later you're going to see that it's not that hard. But definitely, this is a topic that you need to be acknowledged about, that you need to, that it's important that you know that these actually exist in English and we can use it every day, okay? And specifically in our academic setting, because we are studying a bachelor degree, and this is going to help you a lot. Basically, during this session, guys, today, the idea is that you, which are part of these your students who are part and willing to learn, like I said before, and have fun with this strategy. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna learn a lot. What are we gonna check? So basically, here we're gonna explore two different distinctions. Yes, we're gonna explore how to work with epistemic and deontic modality. I know, like I said, it's a kind of weird. It sounds a lot of linguistics and very academic, but don't be afraid about it. Okay, I'm gonna show you how it works and how we can use this in our daily academic setting. Okay, and this is mostly focused on writing, academic writing. Remember that you guys, the idea in this semester, at least the ones that are in English 6, the idea is that you can improve your skills and move on to the next step. Okay, so here, this is a very nice tool that you're going to have to improve your academic writing. So we're going to go through some analysis of some academic excerpts, one in particular, I'm going to show you. And we're going to learn what modality means in English. How can we understand that meaning in English, all right? In this academic setting, I repeat. Okay, so for sure, we're going to have some learning objectives. The idea is that at the end of this session, you will be able to achieve these 3 goals. Let's say that we have 3 main goals during the session. And the first one, the very first one, is to establish the difference, that you understand what is the difference when somebody mentions that it exists something called epistemic and deontic morality. We're going to establish how to differentiate them in an academic setting and how can we use them. Also, we are going to analyze modality. Yes, I know that you learned that you know about this, but it sounds a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it's something that we have already studied and practiced before. So don't worry. And finally, we are going to have one activity so you can guys reformulate, so like change some statements using and putting into practice this specific topic. Yes, the modality in English and the different degrees of certainty or obligation in a sentence, in academic discourse. Of course, here we're talking about academic discourse, right? I assume that you already know some basic stuff in English, right? When I talk about basics, it means, for instance, this, the modal verbs, okay? I know that you have studied this before. I know that you have gone over this topic before in different courses, but I just want to hear you. What do you know, or what do you guys remember about modal verbs? Can you tell me? Can you help me out, please? Any person who wants to participate, just raise your hand, or I can choose randomly. Let me hear you guys. What do you remember about modal verbs in general? Any ideas?
Teacher, we are
No,
see the.
participation is crucial here. Let me see one person randomly. Let me see if we can hear Diana Isabel. Diana, are you here? Diana Isabel Serna, hello.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Don't be shy. This is super easy.
Tell me.
Diana,
Repeat, please.
activate your microphone, turn it on. So Diana is not here. Well, you're trying. I can see that you're trying to activate your microphone, but I'm not sure if it's working or not.
Can you hear, teacher?
What about Mr. Carlos Sanchez?
Teachers.
Carlos, what do you know about modal verbs? I'm pretty sure that you have studied this before.
I think that is both give suggestion, probably.
Or I'm not
Um,
sure if it's my microphone that I can't hear.
Sorry, teacher.
Yes, I can't hear you. I don't know why.
Um, well, as I tell you,
Yeah,
modal
thank
verbs
you, Lisa.
have different
The
uses.
classmates are speaking, but mine is not working. Why not? I guess it's something about setting the microphone, but okay.
No me culpa.
All right, let's continue then. So basically, remember that we have these modal verbs in English, which are very common to use. We use them every single day when you try to communicate something. And first of all, you have to remember that these are helping verbs, right? So we use them in certain conditions, in certain contexts, all right? So we have can, should, will, could, must, may, might, would, and some others that are not included here, but these are the most popular ones, the most common ones. So yeah, as you mentioned in the chat, because I'm not sure why I don't know why I can't hear you. But yes, as you mentioned in the chats that I could read, um, depending on what you want to express, so you use one of these modal verbs, right? We have, for example, can, when you want to mention ability, a permission, something very informal, right? Can I go? I can practice, I can speak, I can do different activities. Then we have will, which is the modal verb, the auxiliary verb that we use to show future actions, the stuff that you will do. I will visit, I will go. Then we have must. This is one modal verb that we're going to use today. Must, to express necessity or obligation, right? Right? Especially that shows rules, conditions, regulations, right? Something that you must do or you must not do. Then we have might. Yes, remember might. With might, we express certain level, a level of possibility, and might is kind of formal, right? Remember that with the modal verbs, we talk about formality and something that is not very formal or informal. Then we have should. should to show advice. You should go to the doctor because you see you don't have a good face, or expectation also, right? Should. We have could, which is the past of can. That is one use. And also we can use it to show possibility or request. This is a little bit more formal. Again, formality. May, you can use may to show possibility, to give permission. Okay, you may go out now. This is something formal too. And would, all right, in this case, this is the last one, would, to show that something would happen under a certain circumstance. Okay, so if this is clear, we're gonna take these modal verbs to the next level, and you will understand the ideas that you understand how to use these modal verbs in a different way, more advanced, in a more advanced level. Okay, so right now, look at this. So remember the functions, because every modal verb has a function. It expresses certain conditions. So please keep that in mind. So right now we have a couple of sentences, and I want you to please help me out in the chat. We have 8 different sentences. And first of all, identify the modal verb, which is pretty easy, pretty simple for you guys. Identify the modal verb and tell me what is the meaning. What is the function of this modal verb in the sentence? Yep. For example, number 1, he may have written the funniest story I have ever read in my life. So I identify that the modal verb is may. Yes, in this case, may have written. I'm talking about something that happened in the past. Yes, he may have written the funniest story. What is the idea? What is the meaning that this sentence wants to show you? So please go ahead and all the different sentences, and let me know what you understand. How can you understand the function of the modal verb in these particular sentences? Okay, so let me read you in the chat. Please write down the number of the sentence so we can know the one that you're specifically talking about. And I can read you right here in the chat. Okay, I'm reading right here. So yeah, you can participate through the chat. That's perfect. I am reading all your participations. I'm gonna keep that in mind for sure. So I can see, okay, Edgar, number 1, yes. So you say truth. Truth, okay. Straight to the point. Come on, guys. We're more than 60 people. I need your participation here in the chat. Aura, thank you very much. Aura, number 1, you say, may express the chance that something to happen. Sure, okay, may have written, I am really certain about that. Not totally sure. Yes, Michelle, it's like a doubt. May expresses Paula, possibility. So what I mean with these activities, that you guys understand that we have the modal verbs, and each verb has a function, right? It wants to express something. For example, Diana says, number 2, should expresses the possibility of something. Many of the guests were not hungry, so there should be plenty of food left over. Yes, it's an option. It's a possibility. Luisa, thank you. Okay, so this is basically the first thing that we always do. Try to identify the modal verb and to know specifically what we want to show, what we want to express, let's say. And we are going to move to the next level. So this is basically something related to linguistics and more academic language. And I want to show you that in English, there are two different types of modality. Modality related to modal verbs, right? To the modal. What is that about? So as you can see here, this is some kind of advanced English level. And the modality refers to the use of the modal verbs that you already know, but in two different ways. The modality express and convey different meanings related to what, as you wrote in the chat, certainty, the level of certainty, I am pretty sure or not really, possibility, if it is optional or not, I have the possibility to do something, obligation, I have to do something, yes, is mandatory or not, or permission, can I do it or not? Okay, that is like the word modality refers to. And related to that concept, we have in the academic discourse, the epistemic. It sounds like, wow, it's like a very fancy and hard, difficult, but no, it's not. So basically, the epistemic modality helps you to express the truth, the doubt, or the probability, specifically the probability of the sentence. And the other one, which is the deontic one, it helps you to express the permission or obligation in this case. So we can, as I show you here in this chart, we can divide these modalities into two different categories, let's say. In the epistemic mode, we want to express modality, probability, yes? So we use three verbs. We can use three modal verbs, may, might, and could, right? So keep that in mind. The epistemic means probability, how probable it can be. And we express that with three different verbs, may, might, or could. And the second category, which is the deontic one, this is basically some linguistic language. And with these three verbs, we express the obligation, all right? Must, should, or have to. Okay, so this is basically the first difference that you have to understand, that you try to understand. We have three verbs to express probability, and we have three verbs to express obligation. Remember, this is a higher level. Okay, we're talking about higher grammar. All right, cool. If this is clear, let me show you this, which is an analogy. If you want, sometimes it's easier for us to understand the topic when we compare it with something that is closer to us, more natural to us, right? Imagine that here, when you write a sentence, or when you want to express or show something in your writing or in your speaking, so we can establish this similarity with a laboratory. Imagine that you guys are in a lab, right? And we have special conditions in this lab. So when you want to show the epistemic modality, again, that is related to the probability of something, imagine that you have a jar, like in the image, and this jar has a warning label, right? It says, oh, dude, be careful. Don't touch that because it's dangerous, okay? So this is what we mean with this modality. This could be dangerous, or this appears to be a kind of acid or an element which is dangerous for us. So it definitely can be wrong if you do something with that. It softens the identification of the sentence or of the meaning in this case. Okay, so if you have a warning label on the jar, so you say, okay, I know that this can be dangerous if I do something wrong. And on the other hand, we have the deontic modality. And in this analogy of the laboratory, it means the safety manual. So you read the manual and you understand what to do with that, how you can behave, how you can handle this element in the laboratory. Yep. So it tells you that you must wear gloves, yes, because it's an element very dangerous, so you can be burned, for example. Or it tells you that you must not eat that element or drink, sure, because that is going to be really painful, for example. And it establishes the rules of behavior. Okay, so it regulates the behavior. That's why in this chart, I say in this mode, in the epistemic, the first one, so you express the probability and it softens the claim that you want to express. And on your right, you have the deontic mode, and there you express the obligation and it regulates the behavior. All right, it sounds a little bit difficult, but it is not. Let me share this activity and you will understand better. So in this, you can scan the QR code. This is a Mentimeter activity. Let me share also the link with you in the chat. Yes, I am reading your participation in the chat. Yes, Diego, Juliet. Thank you. Please, access to this link, click on it. And basically, let me, I'm not sure if I'm sharing. Let me share again the whole screen so you can see everything. In this activity, basically what you have to do is to decide whether if the modal verb talks about a probability in the sentence or an obligation in the sentence. That is basically the difference. But when we talk about epistemic and deontic, it's just the linguistic language that we use. But in simple words, it is about probability and obligation. That's it. That's the modality that you want to show, to express, okay? So please go ahead and access to this activity. It's a Menti activity. And you go ahead and check the sentences and establish the difference, all right? I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, it's okay? So you can go over this activity, okay? Let me know in the chat if you have any questions, or you can raise your hand if you wanna say something. I'll give you a couple of minutes, so go ahead.
Teacher, I have a doubt.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Hey, what's going on with the
The
meeting?
link is not working. Oh my goodness, why not? I have it open for all of you guys. And what about the QR code? Doesn't work either? Or maybe, oh, it's a shame. This one. So for some people it's working, but for others. I'm not sure why. It's the same situation with the QR code. Oh my goodness. Let me see. I'm not sure if it's because of my email. But okay, if you can see the questions and the answers, it's fine. I mean, the idea is just very simple to identify the difference. If you can actually see the sentences and understand the difference, that's fine. That is the main objective. Yeah, Edwin, I understand. Exactly, Natalia. Yes, that's what you should see, which is the sentences and the correct distinction, you know, the difference. But I'm not sure why it's not working.
Now
Okay,
it's working, teacher. Now
done?
it's working.
All right. That is the first activity. Don't worry. We have two more activities for you to practice. But what I want to show you is that that you are acknowledged of the differences, right? I'm not sure why this is like the editing one. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. Excellent. That was the first thing that I want to show you. So that actually, first of all, you understand the difference between these modal verbs expressing the probability of the sentence or the obligation. Okay. Right now, pay attention to this. Let's move on to the next one, to the activity number 2. In this case, you are going to play a role. The idea is that you identify again the modal verbs and their function. And here we have this academic paragraph, because remember, we are talking about we're having this discussion, this lecture in an academic setting, the one that you are, of course, in this course. And you are academic detectives. The idea, your task, is to analyze how the modality, remember the modality is when you talk about obligation or probability, this modality is used in this academic paragraph. And you are going to use the chat again in the chat, so you can say, you can show me how to identify the modal verb that is similar to the first exercise we did. You can classify them. You show me if it is obligation or probability, and explain the meaning, why the author chose this particular modal verb. to express what kind of stuff. Okay? And let me read. Please read with me and take a look at this topic because it's very relevant these days and it's going to show you some very interesting facts. And this one is called AI in language learning, okay? Artificial intelligence in language learning, all right? So the integration of artificial intelligence in language education may transform the way students develop communicative competence. That is very clear for all of us. Recent studies suggest that adaptive learning systems might provide personalized feedback that responds to learners' individual needs. That's very true, what the AI does. These systems could enhance motivation by offering immediate corrections and tailored practice activities. However, educators like you or me must consider ethical implications before fully implementing such technologies in the classroom. That is something that we have to pay close attention to, right? The implications. For instance, institutions should ensure that a student's personal data are securely protected. That is one concern that we have, right? The educators in general. Additionally, teachers must be trained to use AI tools effectively, as improper implementation may reduce the pedagogical value of these resources. That is a very big duty that we have these days. As educators, we have to teach other educators to properly use the AI tools, all right? They are very helpful, but we have to use them in the correct way. Okay, let's continue. While AI-generated feedback might appear highly accurate, yes, very accurate, it could sometimes overlook cultural or pragmatic nuances in language use. Sometimes the AI tools don't pay attention to pragmatic and cultural stuff, right? We all know that. Therefore, human supervision should remain a central component of instructions. Okay, so it's necessary to leave out the human component? Of course not. Finally, ultimately, artificial intelligence may serve as a powerful complementary tool, but it must not replace the critical role of the teacher in fostering meaningful interaction and critical thinking skills. Okay, so I found this excerpt of this academic paragraph, and I consider it's pretty helpful, pretty useful. So try to do the next activity. Okay, identify the modal verbs, which is very easy. You already know them. But what is more important is that you mention if it's expressed some kind of obligation or probability. Yes, and what does the author want to express? Okay, please write down in the chat what you consider the modal verb or the modal verbs want to express in this specific context. And remember that this is about AI, artificial intelligence in language learning, which is very fruitful to know, all of us in this case. All right, let me read you in the chat. Take a couple of minutes, read again, go over the text. If you have any questions, maybe vocabulary is something that you might not understand, just let me know. Okay, we have a couple of answers already done here in the chat. I'm going to read them. Karen, thank you very much for your participation. May transform. Yes, this is optional. This is a probability. It is possible, but it might not be possible, Karen. Yes, that's true. Diana. Okay, the same answer. Correct. Camilo, thank you. I love your Spanish, but try to use your English as much as you can. Camilo, possibility about developing the different skills in students, correct? Remember, this space is also for you to practice your English language skills. So I encourage you to use them as much as you can. So go ahead, more. Boris, thank you very much. The author maintains an objective and cautious tone, which is characteristic of academic writing. That's true. Academic writing needs to be very objective. By avoiding absolute statements, yes, we're gonna go that concept a little bit later in a couple of minutes, and acknowledging both the benefits and limitations of AI in education. Okay, you just did like a summary of the whole text. Edwin, thank you. May transform. It is a possibility. Yes. Luisa, I appreciate your participation. Correct. Uncertain. Okay, Luisa, yes. Must is obligation to lie. Totally, yes, that's correct. Must consider, could is a possibility. All right. So as you can see, it is not only using modal verbs just because. They have a very deep meaning. That's the reason why you are here, because it's necessary to try to understand this use. Yes, this the nuance of the language. All right, pretty good. Do you want to check all the answers? So definitely here. You see? So we have all the answers, and every single modal verb has a type, remember, an obligation or a possibility, and it has a function in the text or in this particular academic context. Okay, so it's nice if you can take a picture, or you can go over this text later. Since the time is very limited, we don't have a lot of time to go deeper here, but that can be a task for you to develop in your house. That will be amazing, awesome, if you can do this. And you also can like double check your answers and see if it is the same as I have right here. This is what I found, right? So we have may, might, could. These are all based off on epistemic, which is possibility. Yes, remember possibility. Then we have must, should, and must again. This is called the deontic modality, which is basically obligation. Just forget about these academic words, language. Obligation and possibility, you see, and they are categorized in these two types. Okay, cool. I appreciate if you take the picture and you can develop this activity later with more time in your house. And finally, the same situation we're going to do here. This is another collaborative task, so you can work together. I hope this one works. I'm not sure why the other one, the previous one, didn't work. But this is basically another task. Let me share the link, or you can scan the QR code. But it's basically a Padlet activity. Okay. And let me share my Padlet with you. And we have like groups, 5 different groups. Let me know if you can see my screen, if you can see my Padlet. The idea is that you join one
Yes,
of
teacher.
groups. Okay, so you can join. And we have 5 different sentences. Okay, 5 different sentences related to the topic, to the same topic that we're talking about. For example, we have the first one. Oh no, but you know what? Let me share the whole stuff. So you, and you have the big picture of everything. Okay, right here in the instruction, I give you an example. The idea is that you can transform the statement. One person, one classmate mentioned, I forgot the name of this guy, Boris. Boris mentioned in his participation the absolute statement. There is a statement, yes, it's like a general sentence, a general idea, and thanks to the use of the modal verbs, we can modify or change a little bit the meaning. Yeah, we can make it actually more academic. And as you can see here, we have this example. The original sentence is, this method proves the hypothesis. We can change using the modality of the verbs a little bit the meaning. For example, when you want to show probability, you can use may, right? This method may support the hypothesis. Okay, so we are changing the statement, the original statement. But if you want to sound more like an obligation, you can use another modal verb, something like this. Researchers must apply this method carefully, right? So it's pretty interesting how you can play with words. You can play with the verbs, in this case, the modal verbs, and you change the nuance of the language, and it sounds more academic. Also, Boris mentioned it sounds more objective because you want to share this objectivity in your language. All right. So that is basically what you have to do. Please access right here to this Padlet. I hope that you can. And basically the idea is that you join one group, take a look at the sentence. For example, group number 2, teachers use technology in classrooms. Yes, that is a general idea. How can you use the modal verbs to make it as a possibility or to make it more like an obligation? All right. Let me know if you can join. I see some people joining here. This one luckily works. This link, it's working. Just try, do your best. All right. Here we don't have good or bad answers. Yes, it's just the chance that we have to participate and to learn a little bit more. Take a couple of minutes and I will read your participations, your answers. Sandra, thank you. The paragraph includes modal verbs that express possibility and obligation. Yes, that is the main topic of this session. Modals like may, might, and could show doubt or possibility because the author presents the effects of artificial intelligence as potential outcomes rather than certain facts. Okay, very good, Sandra. On the other hand, must and should express obligation. Well, should not really. Well, yeah, depending. Since they indicate responsibilities that, well, okay, in this case, yes, responsibilities that educators and institutions need to consider. True. Thank you very much. Very nice participation. Okay. And now let's go back to the Padlet task. Remember, you can click on publish right here. and you join to one of these groups. For instance, we have Luisa. Luisa, students could follow the instructions better. Okay, Luisa joined to the group number 3, and students must follow the instructions. That's it. You know, that's what you have to do. Thank you, Luisa. Well done. Okay. Who else, guys? Please join. In these few minutes that we have, this is going to be our last activity, so don't worry. Try to do your best. Remember, join to a group, read the statement, and then try to transform it using the modal verbs or obligation or possibility. Isabella, we have also here your answer. This main method proves the hypothesis. Isabella, pay attention, because remember that when you use a modal verb, so first of all, you have the modal verb, and then you have the main verb, yes, and you don't have to conjugate the verb. All right, pay attention to that. So in your case, Isabella, this method may prove, that is the correct answer. Then, Isabella, also teachers could use technology in classrooms. That is a good answer. Be careful with the spelling, but I guess that you did it fast, okay? Maria Peralta, students could follow the instructions. Cool, yes, that is a possibility. Michelle, thank you. Artificial intelligence might improve language learning outcomes. Perfect, very good, Michelle. It's an option, right? It's a possibility. That's why you use might. Artificial intelligence might improve. Okay, it's the same one. Who else? Any more answers? Luisa, thank you. Okay, you're using the academic language. AI might provide motivation for shy students. Oh, okay, that's cool. You included another characteristic, which is shy students. Perfect. Students must use AI responsibly. That's what we have to do. It's an obligation in quotes, right? Obligation. Ooh, all right. Guys, excellent. I appreciate your participation. Again, I encourage you to continue doing this task in your house with a little bit more time. Unfortunately, these sessions are short and we need to cover a lot of stuff, but perfect. This is a chart that you can take a look and see if you have the same answers, something similar. Remember, like I said before, this is not like correct or incorrect answers. No, that is not the idea. The idea is that you acknowledge about this, that you know the difference, that you understand that we can use the language in a different way, that we can improve our academic language skills, right? That you have to put into practice in your tasks when you develop a task in the university, okay? If you want, take a picture and later you can, like, you know, like see if you have the right answers or similar answers. I can say better. Okay. And before you go, let me see if you guys paid close attention to the session. And here we have an exit challenge. Before you go, before you leave, let's do this. I'm going to share a couple of forms for the attendance. So don't go yet. You can scan the code or click here on the link in the chat and answer this simple question. I'm going to see if you guys really pay attention or not during the session. Basically, it is only one simple question divided into 2 parts, and you just have to write a couple of words to answer. Okay? Go ahead. is this one, the exit challenge, okay? It is more about the attention. It is time for the challenge. To be able to live today, to finish today, you need to pass an observation test. One activity of the lesson was an academic paragraph. Remember, we read one excerpt or a paragraph, academic. What is the name or what is the topic of that paragraph? And while we were reading it during the whole session, I was sitting here with you. Could you see something special in my outfit? Could you see a particular color, for example? Just basically that. Write your answer, write the answer to see if you actually paid close attention to the session today. All right, it's in the chat. The link is in the chat. Please go ahead and click on it so you're going to be able to access to it. Take 1-2 minutes. We are almost done. Thank you very much for your participation, guys. And use the institutional email, Diana, please. Access to the form with your institutional email. I'm going to be collecting all your answers. Remember that the participation in these CIPAS sessions can help you out to improve a little bit your numbers in the grades, in some tasks. So this can be very helpful for you. Of course, besides the learning process. All right, so access there. And just to finish, two more. We have two forms for you to fill out in order to take the attendance. Okay, again, please check your chat. This is the first one. And we've got another one. We do really appreciate your comments, your perceptions about the sessions. If you like, if you dislike, if you consider they can improve in a certain way. So we are all ears to hear your comments. So that's why it's pretty important for us that you guys take a look at these forms and take a couple of minutes to complete them so we can later check your needs or something that you really want to have in our next sessions, okay? Please check the chat. I have shared 2 links that you can check, you can read, you can complete. And that'll be all. Two more minutes before we finish. Let me see if you have any questions, doubts, if you want to share some of your thoughts. If it's too hard, too easy, what would you like to see in your next sessions? Let me know, okay? If you don't want to talk here on camera, you can let us know through the forums, okay? You can leave some comments right there. Any questions, people? We have more like 60 people. That's great. I appreciate your time once more. I appreciate that you are here on time, willing to participate, and we feel very happy to have you all here. If you don't have any questions, that'll be all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Maria Fernanda. Yeah. Thank you, Paula. What is the right? Paula, I don't understand your question. What is the right? No, I don't understand what you mean. But okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate your time. I hope that you have a great weekend and a great rest of the week. And see you soon, okay? Have a great day. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a great day.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you. Thanks.